Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Silent Generation. I'm Nathan.
I'm Joseph.
And this week we're going to be talking about cryptids. So this is a little bit of a Halloween episode. I don't know exactly if this episode will get out in time, but I like cryptids. Like most topics that are sort of out of our wheelhouse, it's something that I happen to know a lot about because I went through a cryptids phase as a kid.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess I should have been able to tell by like how much you know about each of these. But yeah. No,
Yeah.
I feel like I was exposed to a lot of cryptid content as a kid. It just felt like, all right, once you've grown out of dinosaurs a little bit, there's like a different thing that can be cataloged and learned about.
Yeah. No, growing up, I would read fantasy series like, say, A Series of Unfortunate Events or Guardians of Ga'Hoole. But then when I went to the nonfiction section, it would usually be Greek or Roman mythology and then also cryptids. Like that was my nonfiction, even though it was very pseudoscientific.
Yeah, interesting. Wow.
So to start out, do we think cryptids are real?
I'm pretty much a skeptic, I'd say. I want to believe, like, I understand the mechanism where people start to arrive at a pretty, like, strong belief in them. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only people that I think can irrefutably believe are the people that have seen them in the flesh.
Mm-hmm.
But I come from a pretty credulous family. As I've mentioned, a lot of my family members have had paranormal experiences, usually with ghosts. There's only one person in my family who's seen what is sort of a cryptid. Do you want me to tell the story?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so this comes from my dad. I had him write it out for me. I wasn't sure if I'd read this on air, but I can't really say it any better than how he wrote it. So he said, I was about 4 years old and woke up early one morning. No one else was awake. My bedroom was on the second floor and my large toy box on the first. I went to the top of the stairs where I could see my toy box, and sitting on it was a gnome-like creature, looking at me. It had a leprechaunish or gnomish appearance, and I vaguely remember greenish clothing. It appeared masculine, not feminine, but small. I started screaming and woke everyone up, and it disappeared. I suppose it might have well been a trance-like state, but it's the only experience I've ever had like that, and it seemed very real.
Wow, I'm kind of jealous of experiences like that like hint at like a world beyond our own. I feel like I've always been drawn to stories like that, and I just feel like, no, I live in a world with just one plane of existence and perception, and like this is what I'm stuck on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting when you hear about encounters with actual magical creatures, like my dad reporting that he saw a gnome.
Yeah. That seems more in like, I was going to say, paranormal, I guess, is a blanket that could kind of contain both cryptids and like magic, but that seems like something more in the magic wheelhouse.
Yeah. Because sometimes cryptozoology, the people who are really into it, they try to be more of a science, and they're like, no, we're only discussing the possible existence of animals that are plausibly real, like say Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster, which could be an extant version of a creature that existed millions of years ago. But sometimes you hear stories of like, say, satyrs.
Yeah, that's like just straight up mythology.
Yeah. Because during my cryptozoology phase as a kid, I'd go on this website called Cryptomundo, which I'm glad I remember the name of while doing research this week. But I remember reading an account many years ago about someone had posted that they saw a video of someone discussing how they just saw a straight up satyr, and they seemed really freaked out in the video, and it seemed to have disturbed them a lot. And I was like, have other people seen satyrs? And I found this really bizarre 1990s cryptozoology website where there's a picture of Mr. Tumnus from the Chronicles of Narnia, the 2005 film. But there's a quote on the website. Would you want to read it?
In keeping with their mythical connection to sex, satyrs are often reported by teens who have been having sex in cars. So that, I was going to talk about this later in there, but like that comes up so many times in any cryptid sightings is just, in my mind, I'm picturing this either 1980s or 1950s. I don't know why it's like only those 2 decades of like, teenagers going out to the gravel pit and trying to sneak away and then seeing something beyond mortal comprehension.
Yeah.
But yeah, the satyr is just very funny. Like it's just something straight out of Greek myth.
Yeah. No, that just seems like totally made up and kind of schizophrenic. Yeah. But I feel like the reason why there are so many reports of cryptids from teens is partly because they have a lot of free time. And prior to, say, the 80s, one of the things that teens would do is just go out into nature and do nothing. Yeah. So that could partially explain it.
Yeah.
But back to my dad's story about the gnome. You know, it's very different if you hear an account of a paranormal experience from someone that you personally know. Like, my dad didn't tell that story to me or my siblings until we were full-blown adults. Like, I think I heard it around, say, the age of 25, we were driving somewhere and he just randomly brought it up. And he had no agenda. He could have
Yeah.
died with that story having never told us, and there was no real reason to bring it up.
Yeah. No, it just shows that it's like, yeah, it's hard to dispute like what people really believe that they